Tommy Oldham here, and today I look at the new Champions League format that begins. This year sees the competition adopt a new Swiss model. The aim of this was to fend off a potential Super League threat and a breakaway from Europe's top clubs. The competition has increased from 32 teams to 36 teams, and many notable changes. For one, instead of groups of 4, there will now be leagues of 8. Teams will play 8 matches as opposed to 6 last year, but they will only play teams once, 4 at home, 4 away. There is changes in the knockouts as well. The top 8 teams will go through to the round of 16, while teams 9 to 24 will take place in a playoff round to determine the remaining knockout places based on a ranking. This year sees numerous teams involved. The usual suspects, your big guns such as Real Madrid, Manchester City, Juventus, Bayer Leverkusen, Bayern Munich. But there was also a return of a few teams as well. Bologna are Italy's 11th different representative in the Champions League. It's the first time they've played in this competition as the Champions League in a preliminary round 60 years ago. Aston Villa won the European Cup in 1982, but were last in it in 1983 using Juventus. They too will play in this competition as the Champions League since it's changed. Stuttgart returned to the competitions for the first time since 2009 and 10. Sturm Graz from Austria returned after a 24-year wait. Girona from Spain, Brest from France, and Slovan Bratislava also make their debuts in this year's Champions League. Italy and Germany will both have 5 teams in this year's competition as reward for having the highest UEFA coefficients based on European teams' performance in European competitions over a previous number of years. Another change in this year's competition is the teams will no longer drop into the Europa League. Once eliminated, that's it, they're out automatically. Another change now means that the format and the league phases, group stage will now no longer end before Christmas. It will be extended and finish in January. The knockouts will still commence though in February. Because of the increasing number of teams, the huge stipulations which prevent the teams from playing each other, such as teams from the same countries, the supercomputer was used to make the draw. The league rankings should allow for a more even balance on competitive games. Often teams at the bottom come from smaller leagues, but with more smaller leagues having teams in it and playing more games, yes, they're playing more of the big boys, but they're also playing more teams with a similar standard, but it doesn't always mean they'll struggle. Copenhagen finished second in their group last year, while Manchester United finished bottom. There is always a team that surprises F1 and a team that doesn't do well. With it being rankings from 9 to 24, it means basically that a lot more teams have something to play for, which means there won't be dead rubbers. And ever since 4 teams got automatic qualification as opposed to coming in the final qualifying rounds, it's sort of become a bit more predictable, so the league format will freshen it up a little bit more. And the risk of not having Europa League or football means also that there is only option to stay in Europe is by playing in the knockouts, by getting through. This year's final will be played at the Allianz Arena in Munich, Germany. The last time the final was played there, it was won by Chelsea. Some of the big names not to be in this year's Champions League include Manchester United, Chelsea, Marseille, Ajax, Rangers, Napoli, Atletico Bilbao and Real Sociedad. So something different. For the first time in the UK, viewers will be able to watch the Champions League highlights on BBC. Previously they've been on Sky Sports, TNT, ITV, but now BBC have got the rights to them, although they have previously in years gone by shown the odd Champions League qualifier. That concludes the video. I have included a full copy of the leagues and I will do a brief Champions League history which will be uploaded later on in the week.